Hi guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Belle and today we are going to be talking about Flower Beauty, a brand that I just recently picked up from CVS and I believe it is at other drugstores or Target, I'm not exactly sure, but it is a drugstore brand at a drugstore price point. This brand is from Drew Barrymore and it definitely looks really interesting. I remember like a while back watching a video from Tati where she recommended the Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette, which is one of the products that I picked up. It looks like this. I also picked up the Heatwave Luminous bronzer, which looks like this. And then finally, I picked up the Day Glow highlighting glaze. So before we get into the swatches, I want to talk about each of the products individually, and then we will be swatching these products and comparing them to other drugstore products or other products that I have that are similar to these. In some of the cases, like with the Day Glow highlighter, I just don't have a drugstore product that's super similar, so I am going to be comparing it to a higher end product. But I definitely wanted to get that comparison for you guys so that you can determine whether or not these products are for you. So the first product that I'm going to be talking about is the Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette. This one is $13.99 or $14, and it contains 3 highlighting shades and then also a brush that you can kind of see at the end. And this one is cruelty-free, but I believe it's not vegan because it contains carmine. The other 2 products that we are going to be talking about are both cruelty-free and vegan, so I just wanted to point this out for people who are interested. I believe it's because it has a pink highlighting shade, but I'm not exactly positive. So these are the 3 shades in the palette, and again, this is $14 and contains 0.29 ounces of products. The next product that I'm going to talk about is the Heatwave Luminous Bronzer. This again, I believe actually has 2 shades in the collection. This is the lighter of the 2. This is $9 and it is cruelty-free and vegan. This contains 0.2 ounces of product or 6 grams and is in the shade Sunrise Level 1. So up close, this is what the bronzer looks like. Again, $9. So definitely a drugstore price point, and I actually think the packaging is really cute. And then the final product that I'm going to talk about, and probably the one I'm most excited for, is the Day Glow Highlighting Glaze. Again, there are 2 shade options. This is the lighter shade. This one is cruelty-free and vegan as well, and it is $10, and it contains 0.12 ounces or 3.4 grams of products. Obviously I swatched it, but this is what the highlighting glaze looks like, and this is in the shade 1 Stunner. So it looks like this. Again, there is one other shade that is slightly darker than this. So I am actually going to apply some of these products to my face, but before I do that, I want to swatch them all for you, and I'm going to leave a few spaces next to them so that I can swatch comparable products as well. So the first product that I'm going to swatch is the highlighting palette, and I can say right off the bat, these are really soft shades. They have a lot of kickback. You'll see it when I swatch it. They are just very soft. They kind of remind me of some ColourPop shades that when you try to swatch them, they just pick up so much product and they're just so soft and light. And you can even see it on the brush, and I'll show you afterwards. When I try to dip the brush in, you're gonna see it pick up just a ton of product. And I'll talk about later how that kind of impacts the application of this product, but I would say it definitely makes it a little more difficult and definitely makes it a little more like powdery, like as if it's sitting on your skin instead of really melting into the skin, which maybe for me is not the best for a highlighter. But again, the swatches look really beautiful. It just picks up a lot of product. So here are the 3 shades. 1, 2, 3. So they look like this. Again, really beautiful. So the next thing that I'm going to be swatching is the bronzer. So this is the Heatwave Luminous bronzer. And I'll say this one looks a little more cool tone than its swatches, but it also picks up a lot of product when you're swatching. Especially for like a baked bronzer, I feel like. Not as much as those highlights, but it does pick up a lot of product. And it looks like this. And then the last product that I'm going to swatch is the Day Glow Highlighting Glaze. I'm going to swatch this at the end. And this one has like a really beautiful luminous effect to it while still being a glaze, so it kind of sinks in a little more to the skin. But you can obviously see that glow. So this glaze is definitely not a cream to powder by any means. It's definitely a glaze. So you're getting that creamy tackiness on the skin. So just take that into account. If that's not something you're looking for, this might not be for you. So I am going to swatch some comparable products. As I'm swatching them, I will put the product up and the price because I'm not going to go over each product. That will make the video too long. But I will put it up and I'll just talk about them as I'm swatching them. So the first comparable product that I'm going to swatch is the Revlon Skin Lights Highlighter. This is one of my new favorite highlights from the drugstore, and I would definitely say that if you're considering the highlighter palette, like the trio, that I would definitely consider picking this one up instead. I have a whole video on these highlights. They have multiple shades in the collection. The video, I swatched 2 of them, and I really love these. I think for a drugstore highlight, at a drugstore price, this is really good, and definitely has just a better feel to me than the Flower Beauty ones. So I'm going to swatch that right here. And you can just see that metallic sheen from the Revlon one. It is just so overwhelmingly blinding. Again, that is a drugstore highlight, and it's almost, maybe more, almost if not more blinding than the Glaze. I talk about this one in its own video, which I will link at the end of this one, but it definitely has like a really interesting texture. It feels like you're not picking up that much product, but you're actually picking up a lot, and it has such a high shine quality, similar to the Prismatic eyeshadows as well. I think that whole Prismatic line is really nice and just really fun to use, so definitely I would consider that over maybe the trio, but that's just my opinion. Maybe the trio works perfectly for you. Either way, I don't think you're gonna get a miss from either of these 2 products, but I wanted to do that comparison. The next comparison product is a bronzer. So this is the Milani Silky Matte Bronzing Powder in the shade 01 Sunlight. And I'm gonna swatch this for you guys. Put it right. So I would definitely say that the Milani one is lighter in tone, but also maybe a little more yellow, while the other one is more of a brown, cool toned bronzer. Out of the 2 of them, I think I like both of them. I don't have a preference. I think they're both really beautiful. I actually think that the Flower Beauty bronzer, which I'm gonna use in a little bit, is just really nice, easy to use, and like the luminous effect to it is really beautiful on the skin. So finally, I do not have a dupe for the Glaze when it comes to a drugstore product. I think the closest product I have in my collection is in the Darya palette, and it's the Glow Cream Base. This is like a glowy, creamy highlighter base, so it's not going to probably be as bright as the Flower Beauty one. That's really more of like a highlight glaze, but I think it's comparable. So I'm going to swatch this for you guys. And these two products actually feel very similar to me. And they apply a very similar look. So if you were looking to get that glow cream base from the Darya palette, but you weren't able or didn't want to buy the full palette, I would definitely say that this is similar. Again, not the same texture-wise, but definitely a similar product. I do want to quickly point out that the Darya palette's glow cream base kind of dries down a little more than the Flower Beauty one. It feels more of like a powdered finish, while the Flower Beauty one holds a little more tackiness. But I would say overall that neither of them feels very tacky or like overwhelming on the skin. So both of them would be good for maybe a cream highlight newbie because they're relatively easy to use. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in real quick so you can get a better look at the products up close as I'm applying them, and then I'll zoom back out and we'll talk about overall thoughts of the products afterwards. So the first product that I'm gonna apply is the bronzer. And this picks up a lot of products, so kind of be aware of that. I'm just going to bronze my cheekbone a bit. Yeah, you can definitely see that. Probably put a little too much, but that's okay. We're gonna blend it out afterwards. I will say that these products are really easy to blend, at least this bronzer is. I've used it a few times since getting it, and it's just been super easy to use and blend. And a little product obviously goes a long way, so we're gonna blend that out in a second. And then I'm going to take the same brush that I used for my transparent powder, and I'm going to blend out some of these edges. Again, there's no powder on this brush, it's more just blending out the harsh lines. As you can see, it blends out really easily. I think this bronzer is really nice. I think it is a little warmer than initially anticipated as like the cooler, lighter shade. But since they only have two, I would say that it's a good tone because they can't go too light if you're only having two shades. So that's the bronzer all applied. I think all in all, it's really beautiful. I think for sure for fair skin it will work. It does apply a lot of powder with just like one or two swipes of the brush, so definitely be aware, but it does blend out really easily. And of course you can veil over translucent powder if you end up putting too much in a certain area in order to reduce the effect of the bronzer. So definitely I think it is really nice. So the next product that we're going to apply is the Glaze. Again, this one's probably the one I was most excited for, just because it's really interesting and it seemed really fun. So I'm going to apply the Glaze to one side of my face and then the other highlighter to the other side, so you can get a comparison. Lighting wise, I think this side of the face might be slightly less lit than this side, so just take that into account. But yeah, so let's apply the Glaze to this side. I'm using a dense brush I got from Tarte's Sugar Rush collection. It looks like this. And I am just going to tap this onto my cheekbone. And a little goes a long way, as you can probably already see, so I'm just trying to make sure that I don't overdo it. Again, this is a glaze, so there's the potential for it to take off your foundation, but I'm not wearing foundation, so this would be a good example of what it would look like if you were wearing it without foundation, maybe in the summer, if you were going to the beach, or just going out with friends without foundation on. So yeah, so you can tell it gives kind of a lit from within glow. I think it's really beautiful. This shade definitely, you can see I kind of pulled it a little forward, but it definitely has like a nice glow, and I don't think, at least in my opinion, I don't think it accentuates texture more than like an average highlight would. Obviously, all highlights are going to accentuate a little bit of texture on your cheek, but I think in general this is really good. It doesn't make the texture look overwhelming. It looks really nice, and it looks like a lit from within glow of just, you know, you're having an easy day. This is how I woke up. I just woke up like this kind of thing. So for my other cheek, I'm going to be using the Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette, and just to make it sort of comparable to this, I'm just going to use this lightest shade right here. So this one is pretty blinding. I'm going to apply it. I'm going to try to not take too much product, and I'm going to apply it to this side of my face. Obviously, I believe you can see that. So then I'm actually going to use this brush to try to just kind of tone it down slightly. So again, you have the glaze on this side, and then you have the highlighter palette on this side. I think both are pretty blinding. What I would say is that, and maybe it's hard to see in the camera, but this side to me shows so much texture and is very powdery. Like when I try to blend it into the skin, I feel like I can't get it to really feel like it absorbs in or like sits well in the skin. It just kind of blends away. This side, on the other hand, doesn't feel like it has that much texture showing. It just really feels like it has like a nice glow to it. So just take that into account. Again, I would say you're getting a good deal for both of them. Both sides look really beautiful. I think you're getting a good deal. You're getting 3 highlights in this, but I just would say they're very, very soft. And formula-wise, I would just prefer the Revlon one, or even some of the Milani highlights that are a favorite of mine. I just feel like those formulas are creamier. They blend into the skin a little better than this palette does, in my opinion, at least for my skin and like the products I'm putting on my face. And so I would just say, overall, I'm not the biggest fan. Out of the 3 products that we're reviewing, the other 2 are definitely my favorites, and this one's kind of like a miss in my opinion, because it's just not giving me the best quality highlight in my opinion again. So those are my thoughts on these 3 products from Flower Beauty. I really liked the bronzer. I really liked the highlighting glaze, which I was actually really shocked that I loved it as much as I did. I think it's a really nice formula and really easy to use. I would say that the highlighting palette is the only one that I wasn't a huge fan of, just because it was so powdery and soft and didn't really feel like it blends into the skin. It feels like it sits on top of the skin and shows off a lot of texture. Again, highlights tend to do that, and if you want a blinding highlight, they are definitely blinding, but I would say that in the drugstore you can definitely pick up highlights that at least I like better than that one. But again, it's up to you and what works with your skin and the products that you're using. All of the products mentioned and the products that I'm wearing will be linked in the description. If you are interested in any more comparison swatches with these products, maybe compared to other brands or other drugstore brands, definitely comment that down below and I will try to pick those products up and do some comparisons. Also, if you are enjoying this content from me and you want to see more, definitely like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to make more and more content that I think you guys will like. So again, leaving comments or liking will help me to determine what you guys are enjoying watching. Also, my Instagram is linked to this channel. If you are interested in products that I'm picking up or products that I'm really liking, I am trying to post more on there. I'm also posting pictures of my cat and my brother's cat. If you are interested in some cat/makeup pictures, definitely follow my Instagram. I'll be putting updates there on product reviews as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope you guys are having a great day or night or morning or whatever time it is. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.